Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am getting back to you with a follow-up to my Back to School series. I know it's in the middle of the holidays, and we've been talking about holiday layouts for a bit now. We're about halfway through, roughly halfway through my 12 days of Christmas layouts, but I just wanted to be sure and give you this idea because it would make a great Christmas present if you are inclined towards doing this for maybe your kids or your grandkids. This is one of our Happy Album sized cover sets, and it currently is being made in the composition book format to match the 12 by 12 that they came out with this fall. And I just love this size album. It's perfect for a cute album that you can do really quick. So this uses the 8.5 by, I beg your pardon, there's 6 3/4 by 10-inch pages, so slightly smaller than the 8.5 by 10-inch albums that CM had, that old CM had. But these pages are perfect for using the annual paper pack and doing a complete album with it. So with this you get 16 pages. I beg your pardon, you get 13 pages. You do get 16 protectors just in case you need them. And with those 13 pages, you can do all 12 grade levels plus kindergarten. And if you have any extra pages of these, you can throw in preschool. So I just wanted to show you how you would go ahead and do this. And I have to get my paper, my handy dandy package opener, because this plastic sometimes doesn't like to play nice. Okay, so I have actually started this a little bit early in that I opened my paper pack up and I went ahead and cut my paper. And I apologize because I know normally I do try to make these videos so that you can see in real time how long it takes to put a project together. This project is probably a little bit longer than I would like for a video, so I just thought I would cut to the chase with that and get that out of the way real quickly. So you have, these are your page protectors, so just set these aside, don't lose them. They're for keeping in the back of your book, just so that you have them handy for when you're ready to get your album put together. And then we're gonna just go ahead and assemble this really quick and talk about how this comes together. So come on, that's stuck and my fingernails can't get it. There, goodness, that was just crazy. Okay, so the first thing that you know to do is to take the binding off of your cover set, and then that way you can unlace these pages right here. And I love the idea of being able to add pages to this if I want to. So you don't have to do just one packet of pages. However, for the purposes of this demonstration on this video right now, I'm only going to have one packet of pages in here, which means that I'm not going to be able to fit all of the grades. But just know that if you want to add preschool, you do need to add a page or two to your album. And then that way you can truly have a completed picture of what the school days are like for each of your loved ones. Let me show you how we're going to do this. So let me just get this all strapped back together. So I do have a video on my channel that's all about how these albums come together and how you can install your pages and whatnot, just like what I'm doing here, in case this is too fast. But I just thought it might be, you know, a fun little review for people who maybe are not super familiar with our albums and how they work, just so you can see how I put mine together and maybe just get a refresher. And also, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Creative Memories does custom spines. And I know if you are familiar with the company and the custom spines, you may be thinking, well, yes, they do custom spines, but they're only for the 12 by 12 albums. But guess what? You can do a custom spine for this. You just have to modify it a tiny bit. And so at some point I will do a video and show you how to modify a custom spine so that you can use it in a smaller book, because you can do them for this size album, you can do them for the 8x8s, you can do them for any album. Okay, so keeping in mind that I did take the time to cut my paper ahead of time, just know that you can do that too. Just sit down while you're watching TV and cut. However, I will give you a little caveat to that. I did mess up on one of these because I was distracted. And if you are going to put this together and want it, you know, flawless, then you really do need to focus, and you might not want to be watching a movie or something while you're doing it. So I cut each of the individual pages in such a way that each page with each grade level represented would fit on a 2-page spread. So each of our grade levels has a decorative design on the back and the grade level on the front, and then it's got this lined paper. So if you cut 2 inches off the top, then that leaves you with a decorative strip that matches. So all of these are just strips of decorative paper. Okay, and then and I can flip those over and use them to decorate my page. I've got 2 papers right here that I can glue to each side of the of each 2-page layout. This is just enough room to be able to put that first day of school photo that you always take, because, you know, us moms, we always take the first day of school, and we may or may not remember to take a last day of school photo. But if we have a last day of school photo, we could put it here, or we could put a small, you know, a 5x7 or a wallet size photo of our child's school picture that's taken every year. On this side, we can add a journal box that's we can fill in with favorites for the year, or another maybe picture from a field trip or something like that. So many of our kids these days have phones that they carry with them for safety or whatever reason, and they're taking pictures with their phones. So you could ask them, you know, on a particular day, hey, I want you to take a picture of you with all of your best friends, or have them take a picture of them with their teacher or something like that. And then they can bring that home, give it to you. You can print that out and put that in here. It's only 2 pages, so it's not going to require a lot of photos. You know, 1, 2, 3 maybe photos, maybe more if they're small, but really you can get this done very, very quickly. And you could even add pockets, and then add, you know, surprises in the pockets, like maybe little notes with your child's, a sample of your child's handwriting, or a note from their teacher maybe, or a note from them about how their year went. You know, you can get really creative with this, and it's not super involved. So it's perfect for moms who are busy, right? So many of our moms are super busy today, and you are super busy. I know you are. So if you are trying to do albums for your kids, but you work, oh my gosh, it's just crazy to keep up with everything that you're trying to get done. So try this, because this is a cute idea. So you just go ahead and add the decorative piece on the side. And I was careful about how I cut these, but I can see that my papers are just a little bit long for my pages. So I don't know what that is caused by, but so we've got that. Then I've got this decorative strip that matches. I could cut another little piece and put across here at the top. That would be cute. I think maybe I will do that on a few. You don't have to get super fancy. But here, this is going to be 6 1/4. So that means that I'm going to go out to the very end of my little tab that I added to my trimmer up here. And I'm going to call that 6 1/4 and see how close I am. I'm pretty sure that's 6 1/4. Let's see. And we're going to adhere this just about an inch from the top. Oh, see, I'm actually a little short. So how did that? Oh, because I went to 6 1/4, not 6 3/4. So I'll just center that. It'll be okay. And we'll save this piece. Maybe I can use it on something else as I go. So then the next page would be kindergarten, which has these great handprints on the back. And if you have the embellishment pack that matches the back to school, then after you are done adding all of these things in, you can go back and you can embellish your pages with just a couple of things, so that you know, I wouldn't overdo the embellishing for sure, because you just never know what you're going to want to add to the page. But if you have all of your photos, like you're doing this for an older child who's already been in school, then you could certainly go ahead and add all the memorabilia and the photos and add your embellishments as you go and get this done, I would say, in a day, if you have all of the photos. This would not take you long at all. All right, so let's try this again, and we'll cut it appropriately. So I'm going to pull out my arm of my trimmer and cut this at 6 3/4, because that's the length of the width of my page. 6 3/4. And then you can just put this right across. You can use the lines on the page, so you make sure that it's straight. Just super easy like that. Now, one way that you can kind of jazz this up, if you are interested in changing it at all, or taking a little bit more time with it, you could add a quick border. So if you have any of our border punches, you could go in with your with your Border Maker cartridge or your one of our standalone borders, and you could punch this edge that's going down so that you get a cute design on that edge. You could even make this into a pocket, this paper into a pocket if you wanted, or you could put this on here and then add some cardstock to make it into a pocket, or make a pocket on the page, which would be super cute. So I was going to show you how to do that, and now I have just moved on. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and put this page on. Just like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use, so we had this Border Maker cartridge that came out with the back to school collection. It was called Home Sweet Home. That was super cute. We have this one, which is the apples. We have this one that came out this fall called the Cable Weave Chain. I think that was a special. This one also came out. This was the ribbon lace chain. Any of these would be fairly generic and perfect for adding just a little bit of panache to your page. So you could take your decorative strip with your letters and your information, and we can cut a design out of them. A design paper like this with the letters on it may not be ideal, but something that's a little bit more solid like this one with the buses, that would be ideal. So this one, I think we could do the houses out of this one. Let's see how that turns out. Okay, so let me see. My houses are going to punch this direction, and I want my letters to be right side up when I put them on my page. So I'm going to put my letters in this way. They're a little short, which means I need to grab a Post-it note or two. Because these 2-inch strips are not going to be wide enough for my Border Maker, but that's okay. I can make it work still. I'm not going to punch the whole piece because of the fact that we're not going to use the whole piece. Because our album is only 6 3/4 wide, so we don't need to worry about doing the whole piece. Grab my trimmer and cut this at 6 3/4. Set that over there. And with that being white on white, you can't really see the houses as well, so what I would recommend we do is go ahead and put something on the back. So hold on. So here I have a strip or a piece of our blue cardstock, and I am just going to trim this at, I think about an inch ought to suffice. Yeah, an inch will be perfect. So I'm going to trim this at 1 inch, and then I'm going to measure this so that it is the length of my punch piece. You can see how this takes just a little bit more time. So if you are wanting to get this, you know, super done super fast, then you are not going to want to take the time to punch things. However, if you have, you know, an extra minute or two, this does add just a little bit. So maybe every you know, 2 or 3 grades, if you did this to give it a little bit more of a decorative feel, I think it would be super cute. So just adding that little bit of blue behind there allows you to not lose those houses. And then we can add this across the top of our page. Right? Carries our border from the side over here to this side. You can add mats even if you wanted to. If you wanted to add, you know, cut a piece of cardstock in half and add some mats to the page to give, you know, guidance of where photos ought to go, you could do that. Depends on, you know, if you're putting this together for you or if you're putting this together for someone who is not a scrapbooker. You know, that all makes a difference. So just some thoughts, things to consider. I love the fact that this is such a quick way of creating a book, and it's a meaningful book for, you know, for your kids or for people that you love. You could even switch and put this page over here and another and the complementary page next to it on the over there if you wanted to. You could leave it like this and put this page over here if you wanted. I know not everybody rides the bus, so maybe it would be appropriate to just go ahead and leave this with the lined side up for this particular grade. I think every child has an opportunity at some point to ride a school bus, even if you're not going to school every day on a school bus. But, you know, I grew up in the day when we used to go on something called a field trip every now and then. And I don't know if they really do field trips much anymore, if at all. But we used to go on a field trip just about every year when I was growing up, which was really awesome. So just for kicks, let's do this one maybe backwards. Well, not really backwards, but you know what I mean. So we'll have the grade on the other side. You can see what that looks like. My chronological brain, I don't think, is going to like this very much. But, whoops, I put my adhesive on the wrong side. That's okay though. We should do something decorative here what should we do? Maybe add a little bit more color. I'm going to grab some red cardstock real quick. So I've got lots of scraps, but for the most part I only keep my long strips or larger pieces of scraps. And that's because I've learned through the years that I am not one of those scrappers that's really good about using all my little pieces. Some of you out there are fantastic about using every little tiny piece. I just am not that way. I thought I was going to be that way, and for years I would save all those little tiny bits, and I would try to make myself use them, but I just was not good about going in and using them. So I have learned that I just don't. So there's just no point in me holding on to them if I'm not going to use them. So, but I do hold on to my long strips, and I hold on to my larger, unusually sized pieces, so that when I need them for things like this, I've got them available. Okay, we're just going to add some apples, and I'm going to add these in a little bit of a different way. So what I want to do here is I'm going to round the edges of this apple, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to round the edges of these. I was going to use my trimmer. Now I think I'm not going to use my trimmer, because what I'm going to do is just add some accents. Super easy. I probably could have gone ahead and punched the rest of that 12-inch piece. But that's okay. This will work. So we've got some apples to kind of jazz that up and add a little bit of color. Third grade was not the buses. It was this cool paper, and what I'm going to suggest is that you cut this. I'm going to cut this at 6 inches, and then I'm going to stack it, and we're going to put this on our page so that you can either use it as a mat for a photo, or you can use it to have your child actually write, because it is truly fascinating and fun to go back and see your child's writing. This one needs to go on top. Excuse me a second. I put adhesive on the wrong one first. So if you add this in here, you can have your child or the person that you're making this for you can add either just ask them to write their name on these lines, or ask them to write what their favorite thing is about school on these lines. and then you can have a writing sample right there in the book without having to worry about trying to put one of their assignments in. I know my mom often tried to put my assignments and different writing samples and things. If you've seen my flip through on the album that I created for myself of my back to school years, there's lots of samples of my writing, my handwriting, stories I wrote, and things like that, which are really awesome. And if you can save those, that's fantastic, and I totally encourage you to do that. However, the purpose of a book like this is to be able to preserve memories, but do it quickly and efficiently and with as little fuss as possible. So literally, you only need just a couple pictures from each year, and you can totally do fun things in your book with it. So I'm just using a few cartridges that I happen to have handy and jazzing up these pages just a little bit. But here we are. This video is about half an hour in, and I'm to 4th grade, so I've done 6th grade levels, so that's about halfway done. But then again, my paper was already cut, so I'm not trying to say that, you know, if you started this project, you could be this far from, you know, the get-go. It does take a little bit of time to cut your pages. However, if you cut your pages, you know, while you're watching a movie or, you know, doing something else for a little while, and then go ahead and the next time you have a free minute, sit down and assemble everything. Really, this doesn't take very long. And once you have the book put together, then you can just go back and add photos very, very quickly, right? So that's the magic of it. Take a couple of hours, put the book together, and then all you have to do is take a couple minutes every year and slap a couple more pictures in there. Okay, so this one is cut at 6 inches. And I'm just making a cute and careful little framed corner. Just adds a little bit of pizzazz, something different. Look at these cute paper airplanes. I can remember science class where we were required to make a paper airplane to learn some of the dynamics of flight, lift, and all of those things. Very, very cool. Okay, and I'm going to, ooh, you know what? This would be a perfect one to punch the side out of because of the fact that it's such a solid piece. So what if we, given the fact that these are airplanes, I'm going to use this Elements Border Maker cartridge that I happen to have here. I really hadn't planned on using this one, but I think it would be really cute. And I am going to put my paper in and just quickly go down the side using this. This is the one, the Boilermaker cartridge that we got recently as a gift with purchase from something else that we did. Oh, I think that's going to be really cute with the paper airplanes on there. And so again, this is just a, super simple, right? So, oops, I forgot to add any adhesive along the edges. My bad. There we go. Just gives it some flair. Right, and we can do the same thing and match that same punch across the top. Because it just reminds me of air current or water, or I mean just so many different elements could be considered with this particular designed punch. This time I'm going to go all the way down and we'll see what we come up with how we want to arrange it. Okay, what we might do is just put this directly across the top. We could do, no, I think directly across the top is going to be good because the page is not completely like I can't just cut this in half and then do back to back, which would be really cute, but it's not going to work for what we're doing because I don't have enough on my on that one strip to do across here since it's 6 3/4. I'm going to put this across the very top of my page. Cute. 6th grade, and here's the one that I messed up on. See, I got about halfway through and I got excited that I don't know, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was just totally distracted and I did not cut it correctly. So, just know that it happens. And I'm going to line up that red line and hope that nobody notices. Once there are photos on there, for sure, no one will notice. But see, I went all the way across, so I've got repair work to do on both sides of this layout. Oh dear, now I've lost my, there we go. So like so. You could even probably, put this towards the middle of the page on some of them, just for fun. Making my pattern match up exactly. And then let's do we could do a strip that goes up from the bottom, maybe? Let's see, where does that end? I just sort of creased that at the edge of my paper. Didn't do a good job because I can't see it. That's a little bit better. And I want to take a little bit off of that so that my strip lines up with the design that's on the page. Okay, then I'm just going to put this right on top of that design, and if I cut it correctly, I won't have too much off the end. I do have a little bit, so enough that I'm going to trim it because I don't like it being quite that off. No worries. On to 7th grade with these cute glasses. The green of the glasses is so cute. What we could do is a swath right across the center. Let's do this. So I'm going to cut this at 6 3/4, which is the length of the width of my page. Then I'm going to cut this piece, which is 5 1/4 inches. I'm going to cut it in one. There's a 1 3/4. Here's another 1 3/4. And another 1 3/4. So actually you could probably do a little bit more besides 1 3/4, but we'll use this piece to accent that side. So we're just gonna make some stripes. So I'm just making this one about the same distance from the top as the one on the bottom, and then we'll center this one could make the glasses go up. No, I don't want they'd be upside down if we turn it around. That wouldn't be good. Okay, so just centering that best you can across there to make some stripes, and then this stripe will go up the side. To bring the green from this side into this side. Okay, and once you have pictures in here, this is going to be so cute. So cute. All right, 8th grade. Hitting the books. This is when education starts to become a little bit more serious. 8th grade. Do we want to do anything with that? Put an edge on it or something? No, I think I know what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to worry about an edge on this one. Okay, so we've got that. Now what I'm going to do is take some of this cute paper. These are our strips that were cut away, and we're just going to add them in for accent. So I'm going to add this one right here, and these pencils down the side. Like so. Pull some of the colors from over here to over here. Freshmen, globes, geography. We had to study geography as freshmen. I don't know if that's the same in every state, but in California, where I grew up, that was the case. We had to study. All the freshmen were in geography. It was required. So now we have green again, but we could, let's see, right now I don't have another strip that I'm going to add on to this, but we could just add some more of we could just add a little bit of this across the top or across the corner. Let's do that. Let's add it across the corner. So if we put this across, kind of going across the page from there to there maybe. Let me just grab a pencil and just mark kind of where that's gonna be. We'll cut it. course, you have to be able to see the pencil mark so that you cut it where you put the pencil mark, right? Otherwise, what fun is that? Okay. I kind of missed the pencil mark there, but that's okay. It'll be all right. I'm using my repositionable adhesive to put this down so that I can make sure and get the angles put down. And then I'm just gonna put my finger up here so that I can make sure that's right on the edge. Oh, I kind of like that. I think that's cool looking for a freshman. All right, sophomore. Whoa. Biology. That was the required sophomore class when I was in high school. Biology. So far, the designers who put this together are spot on as far as my education is concerned, because we all had to do biology. And the kids who were in honors biology got to skin a cat, I remember. It was an already dead cat, so I apologize if I offend any cat lovers out there. They learned a lot about the anatomy of a feline in that class. All right, should we do the same thing for the sophomores? I don't know, I kind of like that. It kind of distinguishes the high school years by doing that. Let's do that again. All right, so let's just mark. I'm just putting the base of the corner here, and then the bottom of my paper up here, and that's what's giving me this angle. I'm not coming up with this, you know, super on my own. Trying to be fairly scientific about it. To borrow a little bit from the paper we're using. Ha ha ha. If you wanted to be super fancy, you could even punch this with a decorative punch. But then again, you know, if you're just putting this together so that it's fast, you might not want to do that. So this is where, you know, you can make it as fancy as you want, just like in your regular albums, you can make it as fancy as you want. But the idea of this album is just to make it quick. Okay, so here we are. We've made it to our junior year. So we are going to need another pack of pages to make this what we want. Okay, so let me grab some more pages. Okay, so for our junior year, there's lots of cheer related paraphernalia on the back of this one. So if you have a cheerleader, that you're making this for, or you have a child that goes into that, then it's perfect for them. If not, hopefully you have a child that, or student that is involved in their school enough to attend to things, attend activities, and then you've got you know, something that they can I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, ladies. Then you've got something that they can record the activities that they've gotten to enjoy. I'm wondering if I want to put this, maybe we'll just do a strip across the center with this one. Although, if we, in keeping with high school, we probably ought to make this go across so that we can still distinguish this as high school. I know for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I didn't start really getting involved in my high school activities until I was a senior. And that's not to say I didn't participate. I mean, I played soccer for my high school, but enough that I got a letter. I had my own Letterman's jacket. Oh, it was pretty hot stuff. Maybe not, but you know, I did have a Letterman's jacket. Because I lettered in soccer and I lettered in Glee Club. Glee is something that I don't really hear in high school much anymore either. But I didn't go to any football games or anything like that until I was a senior. And if you've watched my other videos, then you've heard me tell this story before. But I had my dad teach me all about the game of football after my first day of my senior year, because my English teacher, my AP English teacher, decided that we all needed to have a seating chart. I think she did it just to harass us because she thought it was funny. She was a cool teacher. We all loved her to pieces. But she knew we didn't really like the seating chart. And there were some of us, like me, who still hadn't really come out of our shell, and so I think she did it on purpose to help those of us that were still too shy to socialize more. And boy, did it force us to do that. It definitely forced us out of our shell. My dad taught me how to speak football so that I could understand and interact with the football players that I suddenly had to sit next to in and around, who ironically became some really good friends. So my teacher really knew what she was doing. All right. So we are going to do one more of these that goes across here. But I'm thinking, I don't know about you, but there's always more pictures of your senior year. So I don't know if this is going to be enough to just do 2 pages of the senior year, but maybe it is. I'll tell you though, one thing I'm going to do, and I think this would be really fun, fun thing to do on the last page. I'm going to show you in just a second. Because this is something that I have for my kids, and it hangs on the wall right next to their baby pictures and the impressions of their hands and their feet and all that fun stuff that we tend to do when our babies are little. Let me show you. So back here on the last 2 pages, or this last double page, or you could just do it on the very last page if you wanted. If you take these pieces that you have left over and cut them into equal portions, you can make areas where you can put one photo from each year, and you can actually see all the changes that the students made. So what I mean by that is you've got a page that is 10 inches, 6 3/4 by 10. Yeah, by 10. So we've got 5, we've got probably 2.5. If we divided this into 4, we would have enough room for something about 2 1/4 inches high, and then 2 inches wide. So what would that be? That would be 12. So you wouldn't necessarily have enough space for enough space for a huge photo, but you could do, let's see, so 5, 2.5, 2 1/4. So 2 1/4, and this is by 2. So 2 1/4 by 2, and we can do essentially like 3 across, which you'll have to forgive my letters that are going to be sideways, but we can do little mats across on the back page. All right, I think the pencils were next, right? 2 1/4. Then I think it was the bus. So you can put little snapshots of your student from year to year. This one I'm going to have to piece together because we cut this one long ways, remember? So that one might be just slightly off, but that's okay. It will be all right. We've got 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 9, and 12. So there is enough that you have one for each grade level. You won't have one for preschool necessarily, but you will have one for each of the other grades. And here we've got this one that's been punched because I punched the whole sheet, but that's okay, that's variety. We'll just stick that on there like so. This one was maybe we'll just end up skipping one. Or yeah, let's do that. Let's rearrange this just a little bit because we still want room for the graduation photo, which I'm gonna make measure just a little bit higher and see if that works out. My math may be off, but that's okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna suggest that we remove the school buses because it's a lot of yellow with the pencils, and we've got a lot of green going on. This video is really long, guys, and I'm really sorry that it is so long, but I think it's fun to play around with paper, and this is just a fun thing to do. Okay, so if we make this our last page, then we've got a profile of all of our school age years, which I really like that idea. So I'm going to do the center one first, and then we can do the ones on the sides. So this one is going to be just right in the middle. Roughly 1/8 of an inch around each dimension. And these are, remember, these are 2 by 2 1/4 inch pieces. Almost done. Now, if you have, issues when something doesn't line up exactly because, this one's got a design on it, maybe as you can see, I'm kind of starting to veer a little bit this direction. If you, are the kind of person that wants to make sure that it's absolutely perfect and you cannot handle the fact that it might be just slightly off, that's okay. Just on purpose make your squares go different directions. That's a favorite trick of mine when I feel like my eye is just not quite on target on a given day. I will just on purpose vary my whatever I'm putting down so that I know and I don't have to worry about the fact that it's not quite perfect. So you see this last one I made just a little bit bigger and I offset it just a little bit to emphasize the fact that this is graduation down here. Okay, so let me see here. We've got an additional, so we've got a full pack of pages and 2 extra pages in order to accomplish our goal of preschool to graduation. And this front piece we need to make a title page for. So what we could do is we could use some of our scraps and come back in here and let's see what we've got for scraps. I've got some pretty cute, we've got all this paper that are long pieces and I've got all of this paper that are shorter pieces. So what could we do that would be fun? We can do some triangles. I can see some triangles together like that. There's another triangle piece which we could do. We could do like building blocks at the side. Oh, this is coming together. Okay, here's an idea, and this is totally scrapbooking on the fly, so I do apologize for not having a solid plan for you with this, but here is what I think I'm gonna do. I am going to build a tower up the side with the different papers. Okay, so we are going to make this tower. How wide are we going to make this? We're going to make this 2.5 inches wide, I think. So let's try that and see where we get. And yes, I know my globes are upside down. That's just the way it is. They'll survive. I don't know if this is 2.5 inches, but nope, it's a little bit over. So we're just going to trim just a tiny bit off of that. And go for it. Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got these two, which need to be 2.5 inches. That one and this one. keeping in mind trying to keep my paper going the right direction. So it's not upside down, because that's kind of not fun, right? When it's upside down. Let's do we've got this one, we've got this one, we've got this one, which is not quite 2.5 inches, but almost. Got this one, which is 2.5 inches. Let's cut this one at 2.5 inches. This one. Okay, I have to apologize. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I had to make a couple of adjustments, and anyway, I am back. So I've kind of lost my train of thought, but let me just try to jump back on this bandwagon. I want to continue creating this tower. But I want to cut these in half. So let me grab my trimmer and do that real quick. Because I really don't want this to take quite as long as it has taken. But obviously, you know, if you're going to do some of the fancier things that we did to kind of dress things up, then it is going to be a little bit more involved and take a little bit more time than it might otherwise. So, but let's get this title page done, and then we'll just talk for another minute and then be done. All right, so got these done. Okay, so the next bits that go on here are going to be these two. If you're trying to keep them in order. So those on there like so. I'm actually going to go ahead and just put this the whole pencil block on here, mainly because this guy right here is too far. Oh, that should be right. going to go upside down and on top of here, like so. And then hands. And then crayons. So a little bit rough, but you get the idea of how this comes together. Just like that. It gives kind of a sampler of most of the colors. And then if you have the, goodness sake, just causing all kinds of, wreaking all kinds of havoc around here today. Okay. Then if you have the embellishments for back to school, there is a cute one in here that's perfect for the cover. You could use first day of school. But I think there's another one. Back to the books. You can just go ahead and embellish the front of this. First day of school, I think, is what I want to use, or maybe we'll use back to the books. Put those pencils on there just like that. And then we can do just a really quick first day of school. Something like that, maybe. And pop that up with some foam squares. Pop some of it up with some foam squares. I think I would like to make, use some cardstock and put behind that. I think would look nice. So we're looking at probably a 3.5 inch square. Oops. Inch square. Just set this right in the middle. Just like that. Grab me some foam squares. Stick on the back of a couple of these. up our bus. This was a very fast project in the grand scheme of things. Much faster than the book that I created for myself. But definitely a good option, I think, for moms who are busy but still want to record their children's experiences with school. Because it's true, a lot of us, especially in today's world, don't have time to sit and do a lot of the things that we try to do. So, at any rate, that will be our cover sheet, and then as you go along through here, you can embellish as you go and make this as involved as you want it to be. And you can even add more pages if you would rather, especially when you get into the high school years, if you need to add more pages. At any rate, I hope that this has been a beneficial project for you to spend your time watching me do today, and I hope it's something that will help you, maybe either help you or help you help someone else who maybe wants to put an album together similar to this, so that they can know that it doesn't always have to be something that takes hours and hours and hours. You can have something super cute that's all about your favorite student, and all it takes is one album, a page or a set of pages with a couple extra, and one pack of paper, and then the embellishments. That's all it takes. And a couple hours of your time. And then you just keep it up to date every year. Okay? Anyway, I hope that this has been helpful for you. I think it turned out pretty cute. And I encourage you to experiment and see what you can come up with for your own book. And until next time, I hope that you have many more creative moments. Thanks so much for joining me. You have a great day.